Next guest says he's deeply disappointed by this move, by President Biden's decision to force this deal through Congress. And joining us now is Peter Kennedy. He's the Director of Strategic Coordination and Research for the BMWED, a union representing roughly 24,000 track maintenance workers. Peter, thanks for joining us. I know this issue of sick leave is an important issue for you, but if we can put the graphic back up, I want to show our viewers the deal as we know it that was reached back in September, a deal reached by the majority of unions previously, although I know your union was not one who signed off on this, but it does include an immediate 14% raise with back pay to 2020, a 24% pay increase by 2024, $1,000 annual bonuses for 5 years, no health care cost increases. This includes the biggest raise in 50 years for union members. Are you letting the perfect be enemy of the good by rejecting this?
Thank you for having me on, Anna. Absolutely not. Look, we appreciate the recommendations of the Presidential Emergency Board, but frankly, it was long overdue. Railroads have made record profits year after year, quarter after quarter, and they've went around the country bragging about it, all while their services have just deteriorated. And those profits came at a time when, the economies faced numerous challenges, including the COVID-19 pandemic, and these workers were put out there in harm's way and kept the country running. And it made very clear during the pandemic that railroad workers need and deserve paid sick leave. Now, I want to address something very quickly. Health and welfare. You said that there's no increases to that. The health and welfare costs are going to go up $100 a month for our members. And that's a substantial increase, by the way. But I also want to address one other thing about this, because the implication is that these workers are getting huge raises, and which, again, they're respectable. I heard Congressman Graves during the debate saying that, railroad workers make $130,000 a year. They make $160,000 a year. Well, that's just a lie. A railroad worker makes $85,000 a year at the end of this contract. That's what they bring home, $80,000 a year. That's still $3,000 less a year than shills like Graves receive from the railroads in political contributions. So it's pretty rich for a guy who makes $174,000 a year to get up there and rail against people that are trying to make his country run, that are trying to make his state move and get goods to the customers and to the people out there. It's just ridiculous and despicable, and frankly, it's offensive.
You sent us a chart dealing with the sick leave issue because I think a lot of people are trying to understand what kind of days off do these workers have. This isn't an official document, but it does explain how sick days work, and it is eye-opening to me at least. 0 vacation, only 1 personal day in the first year. And again, no sick leave, only 5 vacation days and 1 personal day leave if you've worked between 1 and 2 years, and still only 10 vacation and 1 personal day if you've worked 2 to 7 years. So I'm curious, what do people do if they're sick?
You want to know well, first of all, railroad workers, the majority of them have 0 paid sick days. So that chart illustrates that very clearly. And we didn't get that paid personal day in the first year until this PEB recommendation came about that we fought for. But that aside, how it works when people are sick is they're forced or they're cajoled by the railroad to come into work ill. And so many times railroad workers come in ill. And if they call in sick, guess what? They get penalized, they get disciplined, and some folks even get fired. What kind of
discipline?
They get issued demerit points. Even people who have a doctor's appointment are issued demerit points right now for missing work. And the reason why is because the railroads, along with Wall Street, have decided to run these operations for solely the benefit of profit. They have cut 45,000 workers from the workforce in the last 7 years. So there's nearly 100,000 workers left right now to run the freight rail system in this country under virtually the same rail traffic that existed prior to all these deep cuts. So when somebody calls in ill, the reason why the railroads won't let them take off is because they don't have anybody to fill that void. They don't have any extra bodies to take up the slack.
Stand by for just a moment. Forgive me for interrupting. Justin, I want to get to Manu Raju, big development on Capitol Hill. Fill us in, Manu.
Yeah, they just passed, the House did, the bill to avert a rail strike. This just passed by a bipartisan vote in the United States House. By 290 to 137 was the vote. There were 79 Republicans who voted for it. There were 8 Democrats who voted against it. So largely bipartisan. Now, this essentially would implement that September rail agreement between the unions, some of the unions, and the industry. It does not have the paid sick leave that the labor unions have been demanding. The House is about to vote on an amendment to include the paid sick sick leave, but because of the process the House is using, the Senate can essentially ignore the paid sick leave provision and then pass the bill that does not include it, simply implementing the September agreement that was reached between the two sides. So this was expected to happen in the House, expected also along with some bipartisan support, but dozens of Republicans did vote for it. Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, as he walked into the chamber, told me he was going to vote against this plan. So it's uncertain whether it had much support among top Republicans, but it did have 79 Republicans who voted for it and Democrats who voted against it, fewer than 10. 8 Democrats voted against it, as the rest of the Democratic caucus voted for it. So this passed the House today. The question now is, how quickly will it pass the Senate, as Democratic leaders are pressing to get it done tomorrow in the Senate with bipartisan support. And the expectation is they'll get there, but they still need to reach an agreement to schedule that vote.
Okay, Manu, thank you for the latest. Let's bring back Peter Kennedy now, again, representative of one of the unions that was against this deal. You just heard it passed the House, likely to pass the Senate, no paid sick leave. What's your reaction?
Well, the reaction is that there's still a lot of work to be done here. There's supposed to be a concurrent resolution to that resolution or that bill. And look, it needs to pass. Railroad workers deserve paid sick leave. This country would not function without these people. And we need to get this done. This is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American issue. This is an issue about protecting the economy, about protecting the railroad workers, and about protecting our supply chain. And so if they can pass a bill to put us back to work, then they can also pass a bill that makes sure that we have basic protections when we need it most and when we're most vulnerable.
We know President Biden has called himself the most pro-labor or pro-union president ever. And so I know he wanted this. He wanted Congress to take action like we just saw. You don't agree with it. Is he the most pro-union president ever?
I think President Biden is the most pro-union president ever based on my experience. But one thing I want to point out here, I don't think he really wanted Congress to intervene. What he really wanted was the parties to reach a voluntary agreement to avoid this sort of crisis, this sort of standoff. And the fact of the matter is the railroads and their just utter arrogance, they refuse to engage with us in any sort of meaningful way. And if they did engage with us meaningfully throughout this round, guess what? We would have never needed a presidential emergency board. We would have never needed Congress to step in. We would have never needed President Biden to make a public statement like that. And so all this comes down to is the bad actors, which are the railroads.
Peter Kennedy, I appreciate your perspective. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me on.
Good luck to you and your union workers.